Yo, what's up? I have decided that I wanted to do an entire video dedicated primarily to Danny. Because Danny's Inkling tends to stomp a lot of people at Rose. And Danny's style in general is kind of hard to figure out because he'll play his bag of tricks characters into you that you have to fight through. And then if you get through the bag of tricks, then you have to fight the Inkling, which has its entire own set of habits since Inkling's like his best character and his main. So Danny is hard to figure out primarily because he spends so much time playing other characters that aren't his main and still beating you, right? But he's also hard to figure out because Inkling is a huge matchup check. This character is full of crazy tricks and weird things that kind of only she can do, but this character's ass. Don't get it twisted. This character sucks ass. This character is mega bad. And I want people to understand that, and I want people to exploit that. So I'm here to do some commentary on a set of mine to give you guys some insight on how to properly deal with the habits that Danny has in general, as well as the habits that a lot of people tend to have, but how to really exploit them, right? And you might be wondering, hey, where's that little notepad that was here last time? I want y'all to check this shit out. Peep this. Thank you, beloved friend Nivrap, friend of the video, Nivrap. Check this out. Look at that. I can draw now. I can draw on top of stream and still, like, be able to talk and stuff. It's so cool. So I'm going to be doing that from now on. I have my own little, like, hotkeys and stuff to, erase the text, change the point size and whatnot. But I'm going to be able to actually draw diagrams on here. That way things are way simpler. And it's in bright red. It's impossible to miss. So that's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited to use that while I talk. So let's go ahead and hop into the set. And let's talk about why Inkling sucks. You're going to find out pretty early that Inkling is really good at building damage and then just can't kill you. Unless you do very specific things. So let's take a look. So going into the set... Yeah, I played Greninja game 1, and it was close, but I low-key got waxed, so we're not going to be looking at the the Greninja gameplay. But what we are going to be looking at is the Daisy gameplay. So, I know my character, too. I want to get this out as, like, a forward. I know my character is, like, pretty specialized, but she also has to play a lot of fundies. She has a lot of, like, times where she can warp the game. I'll admit that, believe me, like, my character's busted, but, it's really important that you understand that, like, a lot of the things that I can do, a lot of them at least, your character can do too in their own ways, right? You might see my forward air, which Pacey forward air is basically a smash attack, and you might not have access to a move like that if you play, for example, Pac-Man, Big Judd, but you can replace that with, like, back air, which is not as strong, but still a pretty, like, solid move that's okay for killing in offstage scenarios. So I want you to, when you're seeing a lot of this, sort of contextualize it by your character, right? So let's take a look here. Generally, I play pretty fast into Danny. I tend to mash a lot on Danny because I like to get data really quickly. That's perfect. I'm glad that's happened immediately. I tend to get a lot of data on people by kind of mashing into them at first and then seeing what they do and then adjusting from there. Because a lot of people don't know how to deal with Pacey down air. So I kind of just mash it on them and see what happens. But this move, this is one of the main moves you gotta be worried about with Inkling. This is one of her only, like, somewhat good moves. I'll turn the volume up a little bit. There we go. A little too loud. Sorry, Chris, love you, but hold on. There we go. So, Inkling jab, right? It's way too loud. Whatever, it's fine. Inkling jab, right? This move is basically one of her only actually solid moves. The jab is incredibly fast, and it builds ink on you. And most of you know how ink works by now, but to give you a reference on how ink works, any of Inkling's moves that apply ink to you, it will stick on you for a duration of time. It will just simply go away over time, right? There's no trick with Pikmin where you can, like, press a button to get them off of you, or you, like, spin your shield to get the Pikmin off of you. You don't really do that. What you do instead is you kind of have to play patiently and let the ink naturally wear off of you. And when you have ink on you, depending on how much ink you have, you take more percentage per move. Which also means that the way it works is you're in more hit lag. Not hit stun, you're in hit lag. Which means that Inkling has way more time to react to things. Which is sort of important. You'll mostly see that coming into play in like Inkling up throw up air. I think it's called Booyah is what it's called. You'll see that come into play during Booyah, where the increased hit lag gives Inkling a greater time frame to react to your DI and thus hit you with like pretty solid speed to actually get all the way up there and kill you. And this move is good because it applies so much ink. Look at all of that ink, right? That ink is ridiculous. I get some solid damage here. He's off stage. Has to burn a lot of resources. So, let's talk about Ledgetrapping. Ledgetrapping in particular, but also to specialize it against Danny. Because too many people let Danny get away with the most belligerent ledge options known to man. Too many people let him get away with this shit. So, let's rewind it back to here. So, I do this drop here, to cover this general airspace on a certain timing, right? You'll see it here. I dropped that to cover this certain airspace. So if he does up B into that, he gets hit, right? Which, he didn't get hit. But that's fine, because I still wanted to throw it off for coverage anyway, and I still have time to ledge trap. I do the down tilt with an intent to catch the, like, potential, not 2-frame, I guess it would be a 2-frame here. But I whiff it, and it's no big deal. So, our beloved friend Danny. He gets away with just, like, jumping all the time from ledge. Ledge jump in general is one of the best options in the game. Especially if your character is nimble, and if your character has pretty good airspeed, and if your character has good buttons. Those 3 things. Pay attention to those 3 things when you think about your character's ledge jump, right? And you might be thinking to yourself now, Inkling's missing one of those. Inkling is missing landing buttons. This character can't land for shit. Think about Inkling back air. That move's pretty good, but like the hitbox of it is still pretty small, right? Compared to like a Marth forward air, it's getting eclipsed, right? Marth forward air is going to eclipse Inkling back air every day of the week in terms of size and range. Even if the back air is still disjointed, it's still small, right? And not to mention, it's not very active, meaning that if you bait it out one time, you can follow up really quickly. So Inkling has no buttons that like are really good at protecting themselves when they're trying to get down from landing. And Danny will jump over you and then usually press a button to get down, and you'll get hit by it. I get hit by it too, don't worry. You'll see plenty of times during the set I get blasted by some of his buttons. But let's see what he does here, and I'll tell you what happens, and then I'll see what could have been done better, or what it means, right? So let's see here. Jump up forward air, right? This sort of belligerent ledge option, we talked about this in the last video, about skipping ledge. I feel bad making an entire video dedicated to shitting on Danny, but like, I'm tired of seeing people beat Danny in like most game states except for ledge trap because they just let him jump out of corner the whole game. You people will beat Danny in neutral like 15 times because you're better playing him low-key, and then he gets on ledge and he jumps out and no one ever hits him for it. So I promise you can hit him for it and kill Inkling absurdly early because this character sucks. So this drop from ledge forward air, this sort of aggression can force a lot out of you, right? So let's go ahead and go to our diagram. So take a look here. This forward air covers all of this space, right? It's an official new range that I have to be worried about. That's a bad example. Let's go here. So from this, let's say this space, because if you were to full drift forward, it'd probably go all the way to here as a pretty good hitbox. So this entire range is now threatened, right? If I play in this space, if I play anywhere in here, I have to be shielding, or I at least have to be ready for this button, right? This is the first set, or I guess the first game, of Daisy versus Inkling. And so paying attention to these sort of things early is how you get your openings. A lot of people don't understand how to build openings, but there's a lot of traits about openings that will actually kind of help it make sense. This is the world's smallest eraser ever. I'll just go and use the full eraser. So when people are trying to build openings, right? What's the first thing they think of when they're trying to make an opening? A reed. A reed to make an opening. On a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being this is the best option in the game for getting openings, and 1 being you should basically never use this. It depends on your character's tools, right? The number might fluctuate up or down by, a single integer, but reads on the whole are like a 2. Reads are typically unreliable if you do them with, like, unsafe kill buttons. So think, like, your smash attacks that are typically pretty laggy unless you play a character like, Wolf or something. Again, a lot of this is going to be relative to your character. But reads are pretty unreliable if they're committal, right? I should put that here, actually, too. I should put committal read. A committal read is buns. Committal reads really suck in this game, especially at this point in the meta, because people are going to explode you. Punish games are so well optimized now because people have been playing this game for so long, and advantage state is such a well-honed thing for everyone because it's, like, the most fun game state to be in, right? You're the guy hitting the other guy. So a lot of people have very naturally well-developed advantages. Excuse me, I'm going to take a drink. And so because of that, committal reads are going to get you exploded. What do I mean by committal? I mean committal as in they are either laggy, therefore punishable, or number 2, this is one people don't think about a lot, they sacrifice position. You sack position. So, let's give you a little scenario now. If I wanted to cover this, I could run to about here. Let's go about right here and start charging an up smash. If I think this is going to happen, I could stand here and start charging an up smash. Because my up smash, whenever I'm launching it, it has iframes at the tip of her hands. So the chances of it beating this Inkling forward air are pretty strong. However, in the process of charging a smash attack, you are immobile. With a lowercase I. You are immobile. You cannot move. There is no adjustment once you start charging that smash attack. So that makes it very risky. It is extremely risky to make yourself completely immobile in the name of getting just a hit on an Inkling that is at 34%. This Inkling is at 34%. I've seen a lot of people do this, and it's a natural thing to do, right? Because you're trying to make a read, and when you think of a read, you think of a heavy cash-in read, and you think of a smash attack. Don't be going for big-ass reads when your opponent is not at kill percent. If your opponent's not at kill percent, you have no reason to cash in on insanely big smash attack reads. There are more efficient ways to cover the same option. So let's rewind the scenario. I'm back here, but I'm not charging a smash attack. What can I do instead? Well, if I am Peach or Daisy, what I can do really efficiently is simply hold block. I can hold block here. Because this move is done while rising, it is incredibly unsafe. Moves done while rising are unsafe because you start them on the rise, and they continue happening on the rise, and rather than suffering the landing lag, like, pretty early to, like, crash down your character and get you back to grounded, you spend a lot of time in the, like, end part of the lag in the air, right? So after the move is inactive. So you're essentially caught in the lag of the move while there's no hitbox out. And that's really risky, right? So, now that we establish that we want to try and make some sort of safe read in this position, and he's doing a while rising area, which is what you can really only do from ledge in most characters. Most characters can't warp the game to where they start on ledge, come up here, and then do a, like, dropping aerial, unless they delay it. And if they delay it, that means they can get counter hit at this point, which means you can get an opening that pushes them out here, and you can kill them. So what can I do instead if I'm shielding here? I can do an out of shield option. Any character in the game can do that. Any character could go to about roll distance. This is, like, just in front of roll. I think roll would end about here. You can sit just in front of roll distance and shield, and it's very powerful because it catches things like this. And then just do your basic out of shield option. It can be a nair, it can be a jump back air, it can be a drop shield into a grab, it can be a lot of different things, right? It depends on the move. Again, it's going to be all contextual. But as a rule of thumb, if you're worried about your opponent choosing offense from ledge, they're going to try and bully their way back in with buttons, then it's better to hold block here because most of them have to be done while rising, right? Which means they're very unsafe. So that's enough about this specific scenario. Let's progress and see how I deal with more of these like ledge scenarios. I'm getting whooped right now, low-key. I'm about to be on ledge soon. Okay, he's back on ledge. Did he skip it? Okay, he skips it again. So what we've seen 2 times now, it's literally been less than 22 seconds of the game. Or it's right at 22 seconds, I suppose. And we've seen Danny bully his way back in with a button again. Once again, Danny he was sitting here with full resources. When I say resources, I mean your double jump, and I mean your air dodge, and I also mean not in tumble. N-I-T. Not in tumble. He has all of these options. Yet, he chose to spend a double jump going high and coming back down with a button. Which, for the record, Inkling's buttons are for the most part pretty safe, especially her aerial buttons. They're classified by not having a whole lot of end lag. So, honestly, my decision to... Let's see, what do I do here? Do I shield it? I get hit, yeah. I get hit trying to counter hit it. Yeah. So we've seen 2 times now that Danny's going to try and bully his way back in. And this is extremely exploitable. Why is it exploitable? Because all of your defensive options, double jump, AD, not in tumble, right? You spend, in this scenario, you spend your most valuable one, which is your double jump. Double jump is most valuable, for reference, because you can't get it back, right? Air dodge, you can get back pretty easily by getting hit in the air. But if you double jump, if Danny double jumps up to here, and I hit him and he's sent back here, he doesn't get double jump back. Double jump's permanently gone now. He's just left with these 2, which you can fall out of tumble by doing a move, which just being out of tumble is good in general. And he has air dodge left. Air dodge you get back after every hit. So air dodge is recoverable, but again, it's not nearly as powerful as double jump, right? So you need to bully people for doing this. You need to see how often they choose to skip ledge. Ledge is the most important part of the game. It's also the point of the game where you're going to, on average, find most of your kills, because geographically, it is the closest spot to the blast zone. Most of your kills won't happen at center stage. Most of your kills are going to happen all the way over here. Excuse me. I fucked that up. I meant they're going to happen over here. They're going to happen right here. Why are they going to happen right here? Because it's closer to the blast zone, right? It just makes basic sense. I know it sounds redundant to explain it, but when I'm trying to build a player's ability to use like theory and stuff, I remind them of the very basic traits, right? I remind them of the very basic things, so that way they have all the building blocks to make their own decisions. So, again, if you're going to find all of your kills in this scenario, for the most part, beyond like a handful of smash attacks maybe here, or like you might find something greedy here, or whatever, you know. Most of your killing is going to be happening here. People will try to skip that game state as much as they can. They're going to skip it so often. They're going to be skipping it all the time if they can. If you let them get away with it, they will do it as often as they can, because now they prefer to be landing on you than they would to be playing ledge, because your ledge options are very restricted. You have neutral get up, you have roll, you have get up attack, and then you have ledge jump. And ledge jump is basically this, but you save your double jump, and we'll talk about why that's so good later, whenever Danny inevitably tries to ledge jump against me and probably gets away with it 90% of the time, because we are all imperfect and I can't cover it every single time. God, I wish I could. But now that we have 2 instances, this is the general like habit identification. If someone does it 2 times in a row and they do it on fast timing, meaning like they do it without really being under pressure. So they do it fast and they do it when they are comfy. He was under no real pressure out there. He was under a metaphorical pressure of like, haha, you're off stage, your options are restricted or whatever. But he's not under any actual pressure. So he's done it twice. He does it on fast timing, which meaning he did it immediately. And he does it when he's comfy. Now that we know this is officially in the realm of a habit. This is officially a habit that we can exploit. And ideally, I exploit it more going on. So let's just play it out. Hi! There we go, I tried it again. So, oh my gosh. This is like the perfect set to talk about ledgetrapping. So, let's rewind a little bit. Let's bring it back. I try to cover it there. I spot it. The rule of 2s, right? I call it out very clearly. I go all the way up, And I try so hard to properly cover it, but no dice. Which is unfortunate. But the thought should come into your head to try and cover it. The best place to cover these sort of aggressive options when they see you, like, coming at them is to do this. And plus, the reason Danny preemptively threw this button while rising isn't because he actually, like, saw me up here and made the call out. It happened far too fast for that to happen. Rather, Danny intentionally did this button to cover himself because he knows it's a habit. People also tend, at least the good players, tend to pay attention to their own habits, right? They will pay attention to their own set of habits and understand, like, damn, I've mashed this option a lot. I gotta start being safe about it. But again, being able to jump back to stage is one of the best options in the game. It is extremely powerful. It's insanely, stupidly powerful. It's stupid busted in Ultimate. It sucked in Smash 4 because you couldn't shield if you were in the air. And shielding was so good in Smash 4. But in Ultimate, jumping and movement are power. Those traits are king in this game. And you have to be ready for it. And I tried to be ready for it, and I got boxed for it. But this is not going to be the last time you get clipped for this. You can't give up if you see this sort of habit. This is how you win sets. This sort of habit, being able to punish this, is how you win sets. I cannot stress enough that if you get hit a couple times, do not continue to reset to neutral. Because you should not be letting your opponent skip the most important part of how you beat them, where they are most restricted, which is being on ledge. Against most characters. There's some characters that I think might transcend that a little bit, or it might be a little more feasible to win from neutral, or win from catching a landing, you know, rather than winning from ledge. But in most cases, you're going to find your wins in this game on ledge. So you have to really be exploiting this entire part of the stage. You have to be ready to exploit this massive zone, right? Everything around here you have to be trying to exploit. I cannot stress enough that if you don't try to find your wins here, you will really struggle as a player. And you will struggle until you start doing this. It will not get easier if you try to find more and more of your wins on stage. You have to start winning out here. So we'll talk about how I'm willing to bet that at some point I get these options a little more correct, or I start playing with a little more pressure in mind. Because I tried coming to the forward air and it didn't work. But he's done it 3 times in a row now. So I've got to be ready for it. That was a great up air. Yeah, I just land, kind of reset a little bit. Get forward toss back air. It catches me out of flow because I grabbed myself and I died 100. So I'm going to talk about roller later. I don't want to talk about it right now because I'm still on Ledgetrapping and I don't want to overwhelm us with information. Oh, here we go. Another ledge option. I don't think Inkling should be able to do this, but she needs all the help she can get. What the fuck is she doing? I hate this character, bro. This character is just doing whatever she wants. She's rollering in the sky. So it has like a slight downward arc, and it has a bit of a hitbox to protect it, but in truth, her head is mega vulnerable. You can smack that bitch's head smooth off. So when you're catching how people want to land to, Danny's clearly trying to skip this part of the game. He doesn't want to go here. Why would I do this? He does not want to do this at all. He has no interest in going down to ledge. And if you have your opponent in a position where they're continually trying to go up here, that usually means, or they're trying to go out here too, that usually means that they know you're strong here. If a character doesn't mind going to ledge against you, that typically doesn't mean they're very scared of your ledge trapping. Or they're not very scared of being in the corner because they have options that are really good. Game & Watch doesn't always mind being on ledge because Nair coming up while rising from ledge is so good. So he doesn't mind it a whole lot. But anyway, the point is, we're trying to catch Danny. We're trying to catch this stupid squid, this kid squid. Danny goes high, and Danny does a very smart thing here. So I try to cover this airspace. I love doing this. I try to cover this airspace here. Because I assumed that by the angle he was doing, he would pop out and full drift to a platform, which would be the greedy option. But Danny actually, instead, drops down with another forward air, which, for the record, was probably spaced to try and hit me, but didn't work. But the point is, he came back down with a button again. Another button coming down. And this time he opted for going to corner. Rather than going from up here all the way, excuse me, rather than going all the way over to here, he actually chose to fade in here, fade back around, and then come back down here. It's extremely smart. He's very good with his air drift, and Inkling air drift isn't great, but it's pretty good. So, what do we do? We've tried 4 times to catch him being aggressive coming back to stage, and it hasn't worked. We're going to find out what I do. Because Loki right now, I'm probably pissed. We let's trap here. Okay, perfect. I'm so glad this happened. So I finally forced him to recover to a ledge. I finally forced him to go here. Why have I done this? Because my move sent him too far out. Here, I'm actually going to go ahead and draw on the blast zone square here. So my move sent him too far out to reliably double jump, because I have enough space, being here, to go up and cover this very easily. So he instead opts to go low and recover low, which is the smart decision that won't get you stupidly killed, right? And he has no reason to spend his double jump either, right? He's not under any pressure by any, like, well-placed turnip. I kind of just throw a turnip all willy-nilly. So he can just go down here. So, we've finally forced Danny to play ledge. What happens? I throw a turnip down, reset the scenario. That's fine. I play here. I get the hit. Inkling's up B. The only thing you have to worry about when it comes to covering this is, again, my character specific thing. I wouldn't try and play out here to hit Inkling with a move that will send them out. So let me go ahead and show you. I'm playing here. If my Nair hits with a sweet spot, which is like, or I guess not sweet spot because the whole move is basically a sweet spot. If I hit with like this part of the move and over, it will send Inkling out here and kill. Inkling's at 139, right? But I get the light hit because it's the later hit after the initial sweet spot. And it gets reset. I wouldn't recommend doing this if you don't have my character. I'd recommend low-key just like playing ledge instead and seeing what happens. But anyway, I hit legend here. He techs it. I almost get the second one. And why does he ledge roll? I cannot stress enough that people will just ledge roll in this scenario. So, we're going to talk about why people ledge roll. In fact, I was so ready for it. Like, I am pre-positioning myself the minute I get up here. The minute I lose frame advantage by doing this nair right here, the moment I lose that frame advantage, I'm already drifting over here, fast falling, preemptively positioning at roll distance. So, here's some Smash why people do things and how to kill them 101. We're going to show you. I get the soft nair. I come back on. Your opponent sees 2 things in this scenario. Number 1, they see that you are doing something while rising, meaning you will not be able to land on stage whenever you want to. So you've given up position. You are no longer grounded. Number 2, he sees that I have whiffed. So let me make a little list here. Number 1, he has seen me do a while rising, WR stands for while rising, aerial. So he's seen me do that. Number 2, I have lost frame advantage. I talked about frame advantage in the last video. I'll keep it very brief this time around. I used a move, which means I'm in lag and can't do something else. My decision's already been made. I have to reap what I sow. So he's seen these 2 things, which means that he can take space in the most greedy way possible if he sees fit. For reference, the greediest way to take take space here is going to be ledge roll, because it is the furthest option that a ledge option can take you. Ledge jump is pretty good, but you still have to like full accelerate, and that might take a little bit. It might take slightly longer to get to this position if you do ledge jump as opposed to ledge roll, but everyone here is going to ledge roll. Also, because my move and just my position in general is only covering this. I can only properly cover this space, meaning I'm covering neutral get up and maybe ledge jump. It's a hard maybe on whether or not I'm covering ledge jump. So what does that mean? Woo! Over here is free real estate. Yippee! It's free real estate. I can't wait to go and ledge roll. It's gonna be so awesome. Oh fuck, I'm dead. People will take this option when they think you've sacrificed something. Because if you were playing reactionary and purely reactionary, you did, by all intents and purposes, lose, in quotes, the interaction. If you're just playing simply reacting. However, you can make the decision in this scenario where you give up frame advantage. And for reference, you don't have to do that in the position I did it. You can whiff a move of any kind that's pretty, like, lagless, I would say. You can whiff any move you want in this space, and a lot of people will see that and then say, okay, now that you've whiffed a move here, which for reference, it makes sense if your character's standing here too. They will instead go, I'm going to roll over here. I'm going to go right here, and it's going to be awesome, and I'm going to get past you. You have to preemptively go and cover this, and it's a very good read to make. Again, this is a read, but it's a very safe read. It's, I guess the best way to describe it is it's like a common read. This is a read that you should be making. It's a good type of read. Why is it a good type of read? It is a good type of read for two central reasons. Lots of twos today. Number one, the main reason it's a good and common read is because people do it a lot. It makes sense to do this. I explained why it makes sense to do this. Because to cover the role, you have to preemptively make that decision while the situation's already happening. So it's a good read because people do it a lot. And it makes sense game-wise to do it. The second reason people do it is because it's comfort. It is comfortable to take all this space. It's relaxing. If you're under stress, which he's at kill percent on ledge against me, or just anyone in general, he is scared. So he is going to pick the comfort option that will provide the most relief, or rather is more like inclined to. Does that make sense? Like, a better player might make a better decision here. They won't ledge roll. But the sort of like player who's panicking, not making proper decisions at the moment because they're all, you know, worried about dying on ledge, they will make this sort of decision. They will pick the immediate roll to get them there as fast as they can. And therefore, this is a common option that if you're in this position and scenario, low-key, just whiffing a move here and then going back here to cover a roll the minute you whiff it, regardless of what you see on ledge, is so good. Because a lot of people will see you whiff, you'll give up frame advantage, and they'll be like, okay, I'll go ahead and roll and go past you and cross you up, and now I'm reversing the situation. But instead, you're actually already there to cover it. So let's watch a little bit more. What's the next ledge scenario looking like? Because I think I play... Oh, I dropped my turnip there. That sucks. Why did I miss that tech? Am I bad? I might be bad. Okay. Trying to get back in. I get caught double jumping. Danny's low-key working me right now. I can't lie to you. Do I win this game? I think I do. Okay, I'm out with a roll. Okay. I lay back with my double jump because I'm also greedy. Oh, I try to counter hit the forward. I don't get it. That's fine. Okay. Back on ledge here. So he's at 23, and he's forced himself low. So now, I want you to watch the position I take. I pull turnip, and I still sit here. Because I want so fucking badly to hit this stupid forward air. And I don't hit it. Oh, I do hit it! Let's go! I thought I was going to whiff that. My character's busted. And I get some pretty solid damage here, don't I? I get a hit, whatever. But, like, dude. I finally hit it. I'm ready for it by this point. Because he's done it, like, every time on ledge, except for the one scenario that was isolated from the rest and therefore isn't applicable when you're sort of creating a lot of data for yourself. So I finally hit him for it, I cash in, and now I get to catch him while landing, and I get to see if I can build any sort of offense. I don't, I just play out of corner, try to be greedy, Inkling roller, I'll talk about that later. Get bullied off. What do I do on ledge? Yeah, just neutral get up through grab. The reason this works so well, in general, I should say in general, but it's important too to understand what people do after they whiff on ledge, but just in general in this game, right? And a lot of people will whiff into shield because they expect a button to be pressed. So a preemptive decision of like sort of, I guess it's future oriented decision making is I am going to get up here and do grab immediately with basically no doubt. I don't really slow down the grab for any reason, I don't think. Nope, I immediate grab. Yep. So I cash in after the frame advantage, get that, and I'm ready to cover high now. So I've backed up. Perfect. Yeah. So I'm glad I actually hit this because I can talk about it now. It's such a gamble when I'm doing my own VOD reviews because sometimes I'm goated and sometimes I'm ass. So I have to like I have to parse through and find things that work. So I'll go ahead and show off how I cover this space. So I've already committed to the idea that he's going to go high. So let's take a look at what airspace is sort of shut off here once I toss turnip. So I've tossed turnip. This airspace is now off limits for a set amount of time. This lane is temporarily shut off, and if you want to challenge here, you have to be ready for turnip. So this is slightly less incentivized. It is generally unfavorable to go here. You don't really want to go here anymore. However, I am still positioned here. I'm still standing here, ready to cover something on the off chance that he bullies his way down with a button. So then, what do? I just drop down with a smash attack because I see him landing. This works anyway, because he didn't press a button. But even if he pressed a button, he'd probably be landing on the platform, which means that my forward smash would actually clip up here. Golf club is a huge swing. It goes, and goes all the way up here when it hits. Pretty solid move. Not great, but pretty solid. And I doubt he dies here, but I do have a bit of rage. He might die on bad DI. Nah, he lives. So I cover the airspace again. And now he's been set pretty far out, so he's been disincentivized from going all the way up here. Because he just got hit for it, right? So in his head, he said, I went high and got hit. That is a net negative interaction. Therefore, I might be more inclined to go down here. So we'll see what he does this time around. Yep, he goes low. And I have a Stitch. When I talk about game warping, this is what I talk about. Like, I pull an entire fucking turnip. Oh, I'm so bad. Okay. I pull a whole ass turnip that will just kill him if it hits him. And he dodges around it very well and kills me. Because what do I do here? I think I try to, does he do neutral get up shield? That's a very common option that people do. I think he does neutral get up shield. Yes, yeah. So, neutral get up shield is a very good option in this game in general, too. I would say the best jumption? I got so excited trying to talk about ledge jump again. The best option in the game, number one, is ledge jump. It's so good. Landing in this game is just very easy and very good because a lot of characters have pretty solid airspeed. If you're like Luigi, I would not be telling you to, ledge jump all the time. I think you should still do it every now and then. It's still a pretty good option in general because landing on people can be easier sometimes than having to play grounded and try and get away from them. Or out of the corner, rather. So not a bad idea. But ledge jump is probably the best option in the game in general because the means to cover it means you have to go up here to cover it. You have to cover this airspace, which then opens up the rest of the grounded options, right? If your opponent has committed to covering all this shit up here, they can no longer really cover over here. So yeah, the number one option in the game is going to be ledge jump. What is number two? I say this is the best, right? It's the best in terms of risk-reward, but if you also want the best in terms of risk-reward that is very safe, you will do neutral get-up plus shield. Neutral get-up plus shield is an extremely safe option because neutral get-up is not very laggy. For reference, neutral get-up is usually not reactable. It's not, like, properly reactable like ledge roll is. Ledge roll is reactable in this game, and it will always be reactable. I mean, even if you're, like, 70 years old, you can generally at least see that someone is doing ledge roll because the animation takes you from here, starts slow, and then drags your character model along here in your glowing bright white. So, you can usually see when people are going to be doing ledge roll and react to it, right? You can be, 75 years old, decrepit, and you could still be properly reacting to ledge roll. So that means it's a little bit more risky, but in exchange, you would get more space taken immediately while being invincible. But neutral get up shield is a great option because you just get up and you take space in a very safe way. So you just get up right here. It's not very laggy, and you now have the option to immediately hold block and find a way to have your opponent give you frame advantage, which means you can then get out. A lot of people, you'll probably see this a lot from good players. The first step is they will neutral get up, so they'll get up to here, and then they will block, and then they will jump out. Because once you hit their shield with, like, say, like a -6 or like a -12, or if you committed to a hard read, maybe like a -20, they will take that frame advantage and they will take it to the moon. And they'll go out here, and you've lost the scenario, and if your character's slow and sucks ass, the situation has been reversed. And now you, in turn, are getting ledge trapped, and they're all the way over here ledge trapping you now. But enough about that. Let's keep progressing this. I die, because I'm slow on the neutral get-up timing. I try to call it out, but I don't get it properly. I pull bomb. I throw it into the splatter shot because I'm goated. Let's see. Goes high again. Yeah, there we go. So notice the adjustment. Let's talk about the coverage again. So my character can force a timing because I have a projectile I can throw that's pretty high up. So I'm able to sort of force a specific timing and positioning. So I throw turnip up so he can no longer full drift in. Because again, we take a look here at the space, this straight line is going to be covered. Which means that he can no longer safely go through here without the risk of turnip. This interception point is going to be risky. Therefore, since this lane's covered, he now has to drift somewhere in here and get down. And now that I know that, if you'll take a look at what button I used specifically and where I did it from, you'll notice that I don't actually use a forward air to contest him. I go beneath him and use nair. So why does this work? Why does this work? Because yes, my forward air is like bigger than Inkling forward air, but why does this work? Because Inkling's hitbox is horizontal. The forward air goes out like this, and it does not cover beneath her very well. So when you're looking at your opponent, check what buttons they're landing with. Check what kind of buttons they're pressing on the way down, and how you can properly intercept them. If you can intercept them. Some people are going to be landing with disjoints, then it's better to sort of dash back and then punish the disjoint, because typically, if you're going to land with a big disjoint move that covers all around you, like Mithra Nair, it's got a pretty solid amount of lag, so instead of, like, you know, punishing it directly, you bait it out by dashing out, and then you go back in and hit it. But, yeah, since Inkling forward air goes out like this and doesn't cover the bottom half of her, intercepting from this point is far more accurate and safer than intercepting from this point, even if I have a bigger move. I have a bigger move here, but it's safer to intercept from beneath her if I think she's going to do forward air. And it works out for me. I get to continue my offense. I'm now holding stage. Is this grab ledge or is this tech option on stage? I can't tell yet. Air dodge. Okay. So what do I do here? I fade up, fade down, go back to roll, go back to neutral, get up. Yeah. Ledge 101. I love Ledge in this game, bro. I can't lie to you. I am such a nerd about Ledge in this game. I think Ledge in this game is like the coolest shit ever. So, I'm going to be talking about this for so long. How long have I been recording for? I'm going to guess 20 minutes. I've been talking for 42 minutes? Okay, it's whatever. It's fine. I'm having fun. It's cool. So, let me go back to this. So, I'll make this one about an hour long and then I'll stop. So, back to Ledge, right? Watch my movement, and I'll explain what I'm thinking while I'm doing it. So, the first thing I do, I see the neutral get up, and I hold shield here. So, the first thing I'm covering is that forward air. That goddamn fair from Ledge. Fair from Ledge. I'm covering this option first. I'm waiting here and I'm doing it. I'm also covering it on the timing that he normally does it. He does it very quickly, typically. He does it when he sees you run up. So I've checked this option. Did he do it? That's the question. Did he do it? No. Therefore, I don't really have to worry about it anymore. I have to worry about it. It's like mental stack, you know. But I don't have to actually worry about it as much anymore. Therefore, I'm on to the next thing. So I drop shield. I haven't really fast. Let me back it up a little bit. I drop shield and I do a jump. Let's see. Yeah, I jump out of shield and then re-land to give a visual cue. Visual cues while you're ledge trapping are very, very powerful. What do I mean by a visual cue? That little jump, right? That little jump shows my opponent something. It shows Danny something. Which means that if I do this little jump, even though it's not really doing anything besides just going up and down, I can check for what he's looking for when he's trying to get off of ledge. If he sees the visual cue and then does something, that's more data for next time. I can go, okay, well, I can do the neutral hop or whatever, and then if I think he's going to ledge roll, I can go back here and try and hard commit with a read that I now have good data on, and therefore I can try and get a win off of, right? I didn't realize I won this game from a deficit. I'm pretty sure I win this. But yeah, so the second thing I do is I check with a visual cue. I give my opponent a visual cue, and I see whether or not it works. In this case, it doesn't really work. So then what do I do next? I understand that his iframes are running out, and that I have a little bit more time to work with. So what do? I dash back to roll distance. This is the core of bait and punish. This is B and P 101. I start in this position. That's the first way to do it. You start in a position. Typically, you start in a position that has pressure. So we're going to call this the pressure zone. Then I go back to ledge roll. And so what have I done? I've given up this space. Or rather, let me properly highlight it. I've given up this space. Which means that neutral get up is now safe. Neutral get up is now considered safe. Right now. In this exact moment, neutral get up is considered a safe option. I've given up this space. But what I'm actually doing is I'm giving up the space and then retaking it instantly as like a fake opening. I give my opponent a fake opening. You can do this too. You give them a fake opening, and then you actually dash back in. And what did he do? He neutral got up into it. So he effectively took the bait. Danny got baited. Yeah, I love drawing. Danny got baited. So I baited this man into doing this. Do I hit the neutral area and close it out, or do I do like a grab or something? What do I do here? I'm guessing I might grab, because I know he's been doing neutral get up shield a lot. So let's see what I do. Yeah, I guessed right. Ding, 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 ding. Neutral get up shield was covered. Yippee! So, what can you do next time your opponent is doing this? Think to yourself for a minute. Look, this is quiz time. This is the quiz time. What do you do when your opponent is neutral get up shielding? You give them space to do it. You make them feel safe by dashing back, give them a little bit of space, and then dash back in, and then grab. You grab immediately. If you hesitate on the grab, they have a chance to react to it and then get out, right? They'll see like, oh, he's not doing anything, I'll jump out now. And that's pretty unreliable in that way. But this is a really, really reliable way to bait out neutral get up plus shield. Because the best way to punish neutral get up plus shield is grabbing it, because it just goes right through, right? It circumvents the fact that he's blocking because I'm going through block with a grab. So, I don't get the kill here because Pacey has no good killing throws. Even like up throw here wouldn't kill. Even not like 180 up throw wouldn't kill. Back throw wouldn't kill or anything. So, I just get to reset the interaction, but I need you to understand that you can force people to do ledge options. Ledge is not random. A lot of people think that ledge is just kind of random guessing. It is guesswork and reads. That is not what ledge is. Ledge is not guesses and reads. So many people I see will just guess a timing and charge a forward smash to hit roll distance, or they'll charge a forward smash to hit neutral get up, or an up smash if you are Zane Louvier. But these things are very unreliable, they're very inconsistent, and they're not how you win sets. So you can replace these things with options that bait out what you're looking for, and then hit them for it. And neutral get up plus shield is one of the easiest things to exploit in the game because you just grab. And if you miss it the first time, don't worry. It's going to be hard to integrate at first. You're going to be thinking about it, so you're going to be doing it slower. But the more you do it, the more natural it'll become. And then you'll be rewarded with a very speedy option to beat neutral get up plus shield. So I finish this out, right? I do an F throw here. Okay. I like doing this a lot, actually. I don't know if most characters can do this, but I actually go ahead and throw him here. And then I pull a turnip. And I start floating up high here. I don't float yet, actually, but I start playing up here. Because I want to cover this airspace. I don't want him to get back on for free. I don't want him to just jump in, and I'm looking for the jump that if I snipe it, he will die. So I'm looking to cover this entire realm up here. I'm playing to cover this. Because if he goes low, I can still win with Ledgetrap, right? I'm not foregoing anything by going out and like being ready to hit this space if he does something. But he does not do something. He instead opts to go low here. Probably because he sees me go high. I wonder if he does a roller into ledge grab. Does he do that? No, he's too low. It's on. And I do ledge trump. There's not a whole lot I can give. Whole lot of notes I can give about ledge trump. Ledge trump's kind of weird. It's a very inconsistent option that's extremely high risk, but at the same time, when you know it's gonna work, it works. So I'll give you a bit of a rundown on what ledge trumping is. Ledge trumping is the act of, while someone is holding onto ledge, you, the player, grab ledge after them. It will make them pop off of ledge. And they can pop out in a variety of directions. They can go out here, they can go up here, they can go out here. You can DI ledge trumps. That's something I didn't know until this year. I thought it was crazy that you could actually DI them. You can DI ledge trumps in this game. But a ledge trump only works if your opponent is not pressing a ledge option. So, for example, if Danny wanted to do immediate buffered neutral get up right after getting on ledge, which would be a little risky, if he wants to immediately press a button here, it's not gonna get him ledge trump. Sorry, my headphones said battery low and it threw me off my flow. If he's gonna press like a neutral get up here immediately, I will not ledge trap him, or ledge trump him, excuse me, and instead the positions will be reversed. So I'll be over here, and then he'll actually be up here now, and I'm getting ledge trapped. So it's very risky. But if your opponent has made a habit of waiting a little bit on ledge, then making a decision, so you've slowed down their timing. Once you've slowed, ooh, oh, that's not a D. Wait, now it's a D. You've slowed down their timing. You now can successfully opt in for the ledge trump, but you have to be fast, and don't be telegraphed about it. I get away with this because I don't think Danny was ready for me to ledge trump, because most people in this game aren't going to be ledge trumping you. But you can't. You can't just stand there, and then the minute they grab ledge, go, hi-ya! Like, that's just, it's too reactable, and most people who are good will see it coming. But it's a good option to have in the back of your pocket. It's a very good option to have in the back of your pocket. You know what? I just thought about it. I think everything I've been talking about is actually kind of advanced rather than sort of baseline. I might make a whole video dedicated to basic ledge trapping, or like the basic fundamentals of ledge. I think a lot of what I'm talking about is pretty advanced stuff. I didn't really go over the fact that like your percentage and how long you've been off stage are two main factors that contribute to how long you have iframes for on ledge. That's a pretty big thing that a lot of people don't know about. I might do that. Let me know if you want me to make a video on the ledge trap basics. I might just do it for fun, because ledge trapping is my favorite state in the game. But if you want me to do it, let me know. Just, I take requests. Like, if you want me to talk about anything in this game, I probably can. And if anyone's watching this and wants me to VOD review for them, just text me. I'm serious. Like, I will be free for doing this shit way more often really soon. But I'm gonna quit yapping, and we're gonna finish out this game, and then I will end the video here, because I've been talking for an hour. It's insane. So this became about ledge. This is not about roller anymore. Oh, this is kind of fucked up. This is kind of evil. What's this now? Yeah, the forward air. So I'm already playing in a position to cover the forward air. Kind of second verse, same as the first. The same exact thing. So he's going through two options. Wow. Okay. So if you're wanting notes for beating Danny, it looks like the two main ledge options, lots of twos today. The two main ledge options he does is neutral get up plus shield, or aggressive ass option. There's two G's with aggressive. Aggressive ass option off of ledge that involves forward air, or maybe a jump in general, and then maybe sprinkle in some ledge jump as a treat, right? And then again, that's a certain scenario where he panicked and rolled. That's like a universal scenario. But it looks like Danny in general likes these two. So go ahead and try your best to think of how your character specifically can cover these two options. That's how you win sets. I've built 100%. I've been like just kind of yapping. So he's back low again. Did you get up shield? I grab it again. Like, at this point, I am essentially farming Danny. And then he's forward air again. Oh my gosh! There's no way! There's no way he only picked two ledge options! There's no way! Hello? Hold on. Let me go back to the start of this talk. There's no way dude only picked two ledge options. There's ledge jump. Oh my god, he picked ledge jump! Sorry, I'm laughing because I'm so glad that everything I was explaining for the last 53 minutes wasn't bullshit. I'm so glad it wasn't bullshit, dude. I'm so glad that I was just right about so much of this. Oh, that's such a relief. But yeah, Danny picks the same ledge options over and over again and dies for it. He gets dash tagged here. I cover the high space. He opts to go low. You trigger up shield. I cover it. And then he's down there. And then you trigger up shield. And then I grab it. Toss him off again. And then I try to hit his up B. I don't get it. Back a little bit, cover the forward air, and he dies. So, what did we learn today? We're going to take some poorly drawn notes on what we learned today. So the first main thing we learned today that we can talk about are options coming back to stage. So things like people will want to be naturally aggressive. People will naturally want to skip this part of the game. Therefore, they will go up high, or they will ledge jump. So they'll pick the ledge jump option, or they will just jump from ledge back anyway. Because if you let them get away with that, it's much easier in this game to land than it is to play ledge. And ledge are more restricted naturally. We talked about that. The second thing we learned are the comfort options. We learned the comfort options. We learned neutral get up plus shield is insanely safe. And we also learned that a lot of people like to press aggressive bullying buttons. Aggressive bully buttons to get back onto stage. Right? We were talking about like the forward airs coming on from here. We talked about landing with a forward air, right? Coming down with a forward air and how to contest that from the beneath it rather than from in front, because that'll get you blown up. Talked about that pretty extensively. And then how you can be neutral get up shield with a fast grab and a non-telegraphed grab. And then the third thing we talked about this for a pretty good bit. We talked about bait and punish on ledge, specifically with playing at neutral get up range, running back, giving up that space right here, and playing over here, but then rushing back to cover it. So the process goes like this. You start here, you do something, you go back here to roll, in case he rolls here, because a lot of people will actually roll here to cross you up. But you play here, you go back, and then you actually dash back in immediately, thinking they're going to take the bait. This is baiting when you're ledge trapping, and it's very good, and everyone can do it regardless of what character you play. If you're a character who gets big rewards off of grab, you want to do this a lot. If you're a Luigi player, if you're an Aegis player, if you have a killing forward throw, I can't think of anyone at Rose who plays a character with a killing forward throw, that's very powerful too. Have those options in your repertoire. And then, what was the other thing we talked about? We talked about a lot of different things. I guess, too, we talked about cashing in pretty hard. Like, cash in insanely hard once you get these things down and catch the habit options, because once you have the habit down, you got to make sure you win for it. You can't, in this situation, be nervous. If someone's forced to go to ledge, you should be breathing a bit of a sigh of relief, unless you're fighting Game & Watch. Then you're probably shitting yourself, aren't we all, right? So, but the point is, cash in really hard once you have these things down. Get your data here, and win from here. We talked about that too. We talked about that a lot. I think it's point number 4. We talked extensively about how you have to be finding your wins from here, or up here, or like all the way through here. It'll be hard to find your wins more often if you're trying to win from here. You gotta find your wins in this space somewhere. This is a great place in the game to find your wins. And every character can contest these things, for example. No matter what character you play, right? You can contest these things really properly. And it's very, very, very powerful. So, I take the game now, and I think actually I'll spend the next video talking about Inkling herself. Wait, no. I'll spend the PS2 game that we played talking about why Inkling sucks. Because that's a great example of why Inkling sucks. That game is such a good example of why Inkling sucks. So I'll use that game to talk about like properly why Inkling sucks. But thanks so much for watching. I am very grateful to be able to do this. It's so much fun. We're ending right before the hour mark. Phew. I have been yapping for a while. It's been a ton of fun. And I'll make another video soon. Sorry, Danny, to make an entire expose on you for, like, how to beat you. But I'm trying to help Rose level up, and I'm trying to help some players understand where to find wins from and how to make things make sense. And you're a good example for that because you get away with a lot of this stuff. And if players start taking advantage of you for it, it's going to be awesome. We're going to have some big upsets made here. Thank you so much for watching. It has been so much fun. I will be back later at some point with another video. Thank you, guys.